So, thank you all for being here. I think we should start by talking a little bit about who we are, you know, in case, because I know that this is not the only place we're going to be, this conversation is going to, like, be had, you know? So, I'm Youngles, I'm Jen. I have been streaming for about a year now, and I was lucky enough to come across this really awesome community of people, including the lovely Fangirl that I am so happy to be friends with. And I started streaming because as a mom and as a gamer and as someone who really wants to work in the industry, I felt it was a really good way for me to kind of hit all those goals and really get into like a pattern of like allowing myself to play games, allowing myself to set those boundaries. So that's kind of where I was on my journey in life when I started streaming. What about you, my dear?
So wait, am I saying my
Yeah, start from your whole beginning spiel.
I was like, wait. So back in 2013, I decided to start a blog about all things morbid. So like if you ever driving down the road and you see like a bunch of black trash bags on the side of the road, I know I'm not the only person who thinks like I wonder if there's body parts in there. So I started the blog called Morbid Moments, and I would just have random things that I would think of, like, and I would put it on there. But then I realized I wanted to talk about more things, but the Morbid Moments was like a very particular niche, so I couldn't talk about video games on the Morbid Moments. So I was like, alright, I should make a new blog, and that's when Fangirl Review was born. A place for all things geek. Whatever I wanted to talk about, video games, movies, TV, whatever. And from there, I was like, oh, I got some, pretty good traction on there. I was doing press at different Comic Cons, and I then was like, okay, I gotta then have video to it. So I started adding video, which was awesome. So now I'm on YouTube, YouTubing it up. And then many moons later, I was like, I guess I should stream. Maybe. I'm like, that's a thing. So then that's when I hopped onto Twitch, and I was like, let me try this out. And that was like a year and a half ago or so. And at the beginning, I definitely only like streamed once and then didn't do anything else after that. So that's why I don't really count like my first time streaming as like my anniversary. I count my affiliate anniversary because it was like one stream and then no stream for like 4 months, and then I started streaming.
As one does. Yes, of course.
And then I started to really stream, like September, October, and then I reached affiliate in November of 2020. Yes, and then it was a great year of growth, and that's where I'm at now.
That's awesome. Oh. Yeah. I love it.
Sorry, I stood up.
Okay. So there are a few main things I think that are like probably the scariest things about content creation, so let's start with the basics. Like, what I know a lot of people talk in the business world about like what is your why, and like it sounds really redundant and overdone, but it's actually super important in anything you do, whether it's your financial journey, your gaming journey, or whatever your journey is. Having a good why like helps you get through those moments where you want to quit, or you give up, or it's too hard. So what's like, if you want to share, you don't have to go Like, what's your why for streaming / content creating?
Well, I think I'm not gonna say like specifically streaming. I think content creating, since I do it on multiple platforms. I think I just like to share things that I'm interested in with other people, or things that I think is cool. Like, hey, look at this. And especially if I'm learning about something, I like to share that information with others. You know, that goes back to me being like a professor in real life and just really wanting to share whatever knowledge I have with others.
And like, it can be that simple, right? Like, yeah, like Q and Night Chats is like, oh, it's just fun. Like, yeah, exactly. Like, I started streaming literally just so I could play video games. Like, I was like, this way, I have people to hold me accountable if I'm not taking that time to myself, kind of thing. So it doesn't. I do have to say, because I think that this is very important to kind of like hit home. If money is the main reason that you start streaming, like if that's the goal, is to make money, and that's your why, you are going to be very disappointed.
Yeah. Especially in the beginning. You're going to end as quick as you started. Unless you're Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, unless you're like, yeah, Snoop Dogg or like TP or something. Like, they can just hop on, you know, and that's like, and it's hard because, yes, money is nice and we all need money to live and we all live in a capitalist society that requires us to do so. But at the end of the day, that's just like a base reason, I feel like, to stream, because you can go get a job and get money. Like, that's whatever. Like, you don't need.
And health benefits. Maybe I'm old, but I think about health benefits. Like, those are my concerns. What are my health benefits? What at least with like acting, you get, you know, on like, was that the you get in the
Student Actors Guild?
Yeah, you get into the union and you then get health benefits.
Right.
Where's the content creator union so you can then get health benefits? It's not there. So
Not yet.
Not yet. So until it is, you need to be making a lot of money to not. Why? Stop standing up. You're poor.
You keep leaving me.
You're poor. You're poor. I don't have any money in my pocket.
I have money.
Well,
I need to stand up and sit back down.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta sit down. Now you sit down. I was like, wait, I don't have any money in my pocket because I was ordering stuff.
Oh, you can just say separate checks. I can just be like, here, take your own tabs. Like,
I wonder would he really let you do it though?
I don't know if he would. Yeah. So if money is your why, I'll let you say money is your why, you're gonna be extremely disappointed. You're gonna be climbing an uphill battle. The flavor of fangirl love. Okay, alright. Number one. So coming up with a really good why isn't just like a streamer content creator thing, it's like a life thing. You know, you should do it. Like, why do you want to, you know, like fangirl does love fitness stuff. Like, why? What's your why behind your fitness stuff, right? What's your why behind
To look sexy naked.
There you go. It could be as simple as that.
Or well, you know. For my fitness, to be honest, I don't ever want to have to take medication. So, don't give me blood pressure medication. I'll eat better and do right. Hold on.
And that can be your why. It's whatever you want it to be. Whatever's going to motivate the F out of you. That's good. So, okay, good. I'm glad you're not waiting. I'm glad you're going. Please go. Thank you. Oh, everything is going to go too. Okay. All right. three things. So yeah, your why can be just as simple as that. So if you have a why, awesome. If you don't, start with that. Why do you want to start streaming? And if it is money, it will fail you. Number one.
Number one.
Number two. Let's talk a little bit about. So if I have my why and I'm like, okay, I want to start streaming because I want to build a community, say, which is like one of the many reasons you can start streaming, but we'll just go with that one. How do I know what content, you know, like a lot of people struggle with like, what should I be streaming, or I have to stream this game because that's what's super popular right now, coming from us who play the Forest. So, like, what?
Well, I mean, it's not Warzone, okay? The Forest is not Warzone. Or now was, you know, Dying Light 2 that just came out.
Oh yeah, Dying Light 2, yeah, for sure. So, what are some of the thought processes you have when you think about like what you're gonna create?
Are you asking me? I guess I'm the only one here, right?
And you are the only one here.
I guess I'm the only one here. So, so when I first started streaming, I was playing video games. Because, you know, I was like, it's Twitch, I gotta play video games, right? Question mark. But then I realized, actually another fellow streamer was like, oh, well, you crochet, right? Like, why don't you crochet on stream? I was like, oh, you think people would actually enjoy watching me crochet on stream? I'm like, I don't know about that. And I was like, you know what? It was the Christmas. I was like, I'm going to crochet. I'm going to play Christmas music. DMCA, don't play copyrighted information. Don't do it. Don't do it. Disclaimer, don't do it. I was playing Christmas music. And I was just literally sitting on my couch, crocheting with my feet up. I'm like, I'm going to go full on grandma, blanket over across my legs. We're doing it. And a couple people came. There was a few people there. And then right about then is when the Bernie Sanders became like super. The Bernie Sanders meme became popular, and then
with him sitting in the jacket.
Yes, and then the doll became like everybody was crocheting the doll, and somebody asked me to make that for them, and I was like, I'm going to stream myself making this doll, and you know it was very complicated, so it was like 4 or 5 streams to get it all done, but.
Sorry,
no worries. So many people enjoyed watching that really, and it was like, that is why, and that helped me to find my content niche. Who is Fangirl? She is a craft streamer, and I was like, well, that's something I enjoy. I love sharing that. Then I was doing dominoes, and then there was like a little fire thing that happened with Tiny cooking, whatever. We don't think about that.
Tiny fire.
We don't dwell on the tiny fire, but tiny
no.
cooking hasn't really come back since there was stuff. But tiny cooking might come back. But I was sharing things that I enjoy, and that helped me pick my content. And so now, like, if I'm playing a game, I don't want to play a game because it's popular. I want to play a game because I genuinely enjoy it. Hence why you guys are getting so much The Forest content.
Dude, we played The Forest for a month straight last year.
Yes.
Like,
and it looks like we might play months straight until the sequel comes out.
I feel like
that's where we're at.
I feel like there's more Forest for sure. I definitely.
Well, there's a bunch for this month for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And then when the sequel comes out, all right, let me pull up. So, yeah, I think that it's really important to think about your content in terms of, like, what brings you the most joy. I know that there's a lot of people out there who make content for, and, like, views, yeah, are important, like, you know, partnership, sure, like sponsorship, sure, but like in the end of the day, your authenticity is going to be the thing that brings people to any of your content. It doesn't matter what you're doing.
Yes.
So if you're streaming a game that you hate, your people will know.
Mm-hmm.
There is no how are they gonna know because they don't know. I have to scroll back. I have so. This is gonna sound really pretentious, but I have so many Twitter notifications.
Oh,
I can't. I have to go back
so many notifications.
Oh, it's only because we've been playing the forest, and then like I
Yeah.
have the mothership thing happening tomorrow, so I've got a lot of things happening. Some of it is my own fault because I asked too many questions on Twitter. Okay. Alright. I pinned it and I forgot to pin it and I needed to pin it. That's fine. Alright, so let's see. I've got lots of questions. Alright, let's talk about. So QS, so like most of the time they'll stream if they're down to play games with like their friends because they have a really hard time coming up with what to talk about. So let's say you pick your game, you pick your thing, you pick whatever, right? Like obviously I played Final Fantasy 8 for 11 for a really long time. So it's really obvious I play what I want.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to get into that. But once you're there and you're playing, what are some things that you do to kind of like, and we're not gonna, this isn't, I suck at, okay, here's a secret about streamers. We all suck at small talk. That's why we're here.
That's
like,
not true.
I suck at small talk. A lot of us do.
Oh, well, okay. Maybe a lot of you guys do. I am the master of small talk. I can call you every day and chit chat with you for an hour plus every day and not say nothing.
I don't think, yeah, but I don't think that's small talk. I think that you are just so easy to talk to. But I mean, you're right. We talk about dumb stuff for a while sometimes.
Yeah, like I can. So that's why, especially when I'm crocheting, there's nothing else for me to do but to small talk it out. Like, oh, and.
But like the thing about you though is you like genuinely. Okay, let's go back because when I go into your stream now, I see all these people that you're chatting with and talking to and having such a great time with. It's really hard to imagine for a lot of people, I guess, like you crocheting by yourself. Do you know what I mean? Because your stream and your chats are so lively that like, but like the thing is like, Fangirl's energy is always like that. Like, it doesn't matter if people are watching her or not. So like.
That's true. Look at my workout videos. It's only me looking, but I'm performing nonetheless.
And that's the thing, you know, there's so much value in a good improv class. I will say that. Like, one of the things that I love about where I work is that we pay for improv class and like everyone, all the talent, all of us can go and participate. So it makes it really cool. So like, how would you you see that I'm like,
ooh,
camera contact. I like to listen to people who talk a lot. And like, I'm really good at asking a ton of questions. Well, then just ask your cat a bunch of questions. So like, if you're asking your cat a bunch of questions and there's nobody in there, what do you do?
Well, when I first start a crochet stream, there's usually not a lot of people there at the very beginning of your stream. So I'm just, you know, I'll be, the question of the night, I'm actually literally talking my way through the question of what the question of the night will be. So for the one or two people who are there, or just me by myself, I'll be like, you know, today was a good day. I got to do this, this, and this. So I'm like literally just talking, even though nobody's there. I'm just talking. That does not stop me. I'm just talking, and I'm like, oh, I had for dinner. I meal prepped this week, blah blah blah, and I hope maybe next week I'll do this. And I'm just talking about just whatever, as if there is somebody there listening.
Right.
There might not be anybody there, but I'm talking as if there is a person literally there that I'm sharing what I've done today and what my week will look like. So, do the empty chair technique in therapy, in which you imagine a person or whoever you might have an issue with, or whatever. You imagine the person sitting there in the chair across from you, and you have a conversation with them. So do the same thing when it comes to your stream. Imagine that person is physically in the room with you. Talk to them as if they're there. And then there's going to be people who are going to chime in because you're talking. You're like, oh yeah. I'm like, oh, I saw this really cool video about blah, 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 blah. Because you're talking to this person. Your chat's going to be chiming in like, when they come in like, oh, what video? You're like, oh yeah. So now that one chair becomes two. That two becomes three. Now you have a full audience and you're telling them your story.
I think the biggest mistake, and I do this too, because we all have off days. Okay, so don't think that anything we're saying, like if you're like, oh, I didn't do that today, like we'll get into that too. But
thank you, Ash. Welcome.
Aw, well,
Look at that. Look at me using my psychology. Empty chair technique works for streaming.
Too, right? A lot of people I see, if there's no one in their chat, there's no one talking in their chat, so then they're like, oh, they're not saying anything, and they're not, they're not being entertaining, they're not being interactive. Like, you have to. The way I do it is like, I know that someone will be watching the VOD later, probably, or you know what I mean? Like, there's always gonna be, and if they're not, then you're not giving them a reason to. Because some people don't like to interact live, some people like to be lurkers, some people everybody is different. Not everybody is going to be very active in chat. That doesn't mean they're not watching you.
Yeah.
And that viewer number that you have is not accurate. So don't think oh, I only have 2 viewers and there's nobody talking in my chat. Oh well, that doesn't mean there aren't people watching you that you haven't interacted enough for you to know that they're there,
Yeah, because think about it. There's the people who are just lurking, or who have multiple tabs open, so you're not being counted as a viewer, but they're actually still watching. Right. Then you have the people who literally pull up the the web browser on their phone, and they're not logged in, but because they clicked your link to your tweet, they're now watching, and they're not a person. It's playing, but they're not a person.
Right, or if they're watching on your app on a console, they're not actually active in chat.
Yeah. So keep that in mind. So the numbers could be skewed.
Exactly. Your viewership number isn't always 100% accurate. Your VOD is if your VOD is active and live and you post it anywhere else, someone's gonna have access to it.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing too is yeah, you're entertaining a chat, but I am sitting at home by myself watching your stream. I'm not. I mean, I am personally probably sitting with my person and my partner watching your stream, to be honest. But I'm not out in public, So when you're addressing everybody, especially in socials, right? If I'm scrolling my Twitter, no one else is scrolling with me. So when you're thinking about social media marketing and how to engage with chat, a lot of people just want to be seen. And so if they feel seen in your presence, whether that's through your content, whether that's through your socials, whether that's through your streaming, they will feel that connection with you and they'll come back. And if you're just sitting there talking to nobody because no one's interacting with you and you're relying on your chat to do that entertainment for you, that's not teaching, helping people feel seen. It's not helping your chat feel good. It's not helping your viewership, because you are the person who's doing the not your chat, You know, at the end of the day. I mean, everyone's like having a community is amazing, but like don't rely on your community to be the reason that you make content. I don't know. Do you have anything to add to that? Because I felt like that was really long-winded.
No, that was good. That was great.
And if you have any questions, please let us know. And that kind of segues into like, how do I start an IG? How do I start a Twitter? How do I start a TikTok? How do I start? Can you talk about socials? I'm going to do a bite of
Yeah. So, my socials were all established prior to me streaming. And I know, technically on brand, you should have your socials match all the names across the board, across all platforms. So, if you're first starting out, think up a name, whatever it may be, and then grab it on all platforms. And if a new platform comes out, go to that platform and grab it, even if you don't decide to actually use that platform. So your name is the same across all platforms. Okay? However, if you have, like my Twitter was already established. My Instagram was already established. So while I do have the Fangirl Review Instagram, it's, a lot smaller than whatever. But either way, like, just start it, and then you're like, well, what can I share? Like, it makes it the easiest is for you to make content that can be shared across all the platforms. So, if you make a TikTok, make your TikTok, whatever it may be, if it's like a gamer clip or whatever, something silly happened in your life, because people want to know who you are behind the video game as well. And then you share it across multiple platforms. Take off the watermark. It's very easy to do. You can just find free websites that'll take it off. Or, yeah, there's so many different ways. Oh, I stood up. So, like, dang it. So take it off, and now you can, and make it less than 30 seconds, and now you can post it on YouTube, so you get your YouTube started. You can post it on Instagram Reels, because that gets a lot of exposure. You can post it on your Twitter, because it's a smaller video file, because Twitter has a very small size for uploading videos. They're very small. I forget how many megabytes, but it's super small, so your video needs to be short regardless. And then from there, you want to run around the island? Okay, maybe you can run around the island. So, that's just something, that's how I've approached my social media. But I still like to share things that are interesting and actually happening in my life. So people get to know me, not just Fangirl Review, the streamer and content creator. Who is the person behind it? Because that's what's going to make people be interested in staying. And then people will also want to follow. Because it's very easy to constantly watch somebody's content and never actually follow or subscribe or whatever.
But those are people, like I said, you're gonna have people outside of your immediate circle of people that are outside of your viewership that you know are really there. So there's always gonna be another audience of your content users that you don't even know. I want to start fitness podcast, but I know I have an expert. Sharing my journey and experience. Someone might say I'm wrong. Here's I'm getting into the campaign for sharing helpful information, and that wasn't my intention. There's this thing about social media that it's permeating into the TTRPG community, and a lot of people call it the Matt Mercer effect, and it's not really the Matt Mercer effect. It's more so imposter syndrome, to be quite honest, and the idea that we have to be because I think literally anything you do, you just shouldn't bother, right? Like Vicky, as someone who does share a lot of your fitness stuff, like how did you wrestle with a lot of the initial post mobility scenes?
So,
Where did you go?
since I'm not I'm not an actual like expert, and I never claim to be, I just share what works for me. So I was just, open and honest, like, this is my journey. This is what I'm into, and this is what I'm sharing with you. And then there are definitely people, don't get me wrong, there have been people who have been in my DMs, people who comment, letting me know, oh, you should do this. Oh, you should do this better. Oh, you're not going low enough in your squats. And I'm like, actually, if you know anything about squats, it's not about the going down part, sweetie. It's about the coming up that people mess up. All right? Did you squeeze your glutes when you came back up? No, then it did not matter. You just messed up your knees. All right, I'm sorry. I digress. I digress. I digress. So I find that there's always going to be people who are going to attack whatever type of content you try to share. They're going to say that they know better than you. Like, that's a person who's like a surgeon trying to explain open heart surgery, and then random Joe on the internet saying, no, that's not the ventricle that you're connecting, that's the blah blah blah. There's always going to be that person. So you cannot let them mess up what you're trying to do. And also cover yourself. Like, hey, if you don't have the actual certification, I'm not sure the person who asked that question, if you don't actually have the fitness trainer, personal trainer, blah 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 certification, then don't put that down. Nowhere on any of my socials anywhere does it say that I am an actual personal trainer.
I can't probably handle criticism, like I take critiques to hate. So just don't, don't look at them. Don't even bother.
Oh yeah, don't.
It's different. So I think that the big disconnect becomes, okay, like, what do I listen to? Because I don't want to necessarily say don't listen to criticism whatsoever, because as people of color, we know that there are lots of people out there that don't listen to the things that they should. But as long as am I harming anybody with this? And if the answer is no, and genuinely no, because none of the critiques have to do with you harming yourself or anybody else, then don't listen. If it's like, hey, this is a closed practice and you shouldn't be doing, that's a completely different thing. But if it's literally just people trying to tear you down because they're too afraid to start themselves, don't listen. If it's like comments about like your body or how you approach things or what type of there you are. Oh my god.
No, I was like, where did she go?
Comments about like, I mean, hi, I'm like mom, right? So like there's these whole
oh gosh, the amount of moms being attacked.
Right? Like being a mom, being a gamer, like moms that don't know anything about gaming, like all this bullshit. And like I don't listen to it because I never say anything I don't have receipts for. And that's the other key though. As long as you are making sure that what you say you can back up on the internet, then don't say it. But if you can, whatever. The haters are gonna hate, right? So it doesn't matter. They are. Oh, I like this person's house. I don't know where I went, but this person's house is right. So, yeah, the thing is, it's like, you're gonna get criticism no matter what, and it's just part of people will project that they don't want to talk to themselves about. And that's also why so many people don't start, because I lost you.
I'm in Greta's house, she's cooking something.
So yeah, I guess don't read them. Hide them, block them. At the point, if there's a hater on one of my Instagram, I block them. I don't care.
Oh yeah, block people. Yeah, so
what you would like. Go ahead.
if it's not constructive criticism, like, oh, like, actually, if you share, or this is where you could really grow over here, or blah, 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 ignore it. Because they're a lot of times they're just commenting to tear you down, and they're commenting because they think they know better, or they're just being jerks. So you have to ignore those people. Don't engage with them, because now they want the attention. They want to say something for you to give them the attention. I know it's hard. It's so hard not to comment back. But delete them and block them, and now they're mad.
Nobody is giving out gold stars in real life for changing anyone's mind on the internet. Like, it's not. Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm loving this part. So that's like kind of like social. Like, as long as you're not positioning yourself as an expert in something that you're not an expert in, you're fine. However, don't also disregard the years of experience you may have that does make you an expert in something,
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, let's talk about that. So, like, as content creators who are marginalized identities, for example, like, the critique that you get is going to be different than the critiques I get. Like, the criticisms and the people that are kind of, like, trying to, like, hate your stuff or whatever. But they're gonna be there. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Side note, let me tell you how I had shin splints to the doctor. Got them diagnosed. Yeah, your fitness personal trainer told about what your doctor told you. Yeah, because everybody, that's the thing a lot. Stay in your lane, you know what I mean? Like, understand that you don't know what you don't know, and that's okay. Acknowledge it. It's perfectly. No one's gonna, we grew up in such a world of, like, not being able to make mistakes that we don't allow ourselves to do it now, and it's a detriment to our content, to be quite honest. Because, honestly, people want to see you F up, and they want to be able to laugh at you. I mean, me and Vicky screw up in the forest all the time. Die!
Or, somebody blows me up.
I really blow her up. And you don't allow yourself to make mistakes, and you don't allow yourself the ability to learn how to do something. That goes to socials, that goes to everything. And because of that, like, what works for Vicky on socials isn't necessarily going to work for me. What works for me isn't necessarily going to work for her. So, really, it's really about setting smart goals for yourself and then, like, allowing yourself time to be with the expectation that you're going to
The expectation that things might not work out exactly how you planned. You just gotta learn how to pivot and do what needs to be done.
Exactly. And that's like a social contract. That's a whole thing, Yeah. Can I just say I love the chill vibe of how we're having this conversation too, because I think that so often content is like the lack of perfection in our content speaks for itself.
Exactly.
So socials, IG. If you have any other questions that we haven't talked about, please send them in. I'm going to my phone right now to find I think I pinned a freaking phone. Okay, so I see Panglo's full video. I'm gonna definitely watch it later. Yes, please. Pull up video, yeah. See,
Oh yeah.
watch her stuff. She's good. She's good. Alright, talked about content. We talked about talking to your audience. We talked about don't make yourself an expert if you're not. Okay, so let's get into these questions. Like, what are some methods for building a followership? What is, I guess, followership / community? What do you think?
I think genuine love and support for others. Don't chase after a community and people because you want it, but because you genuinely want to be with the people. So, obviously, find people who are into the same things you're into. So, I'm finding more fitness people who are into fitness. I'm finding people who actually enjoy the forest. I'll randomly look for forest people. I'm finding people who are into crafting of all sorts. And slowly but surely, I'm finding people who are genuinely interested in the same things that I'm interested in. And then I know there's people who support me just because I'm me and they don't really care what I do. But genuinely care about the people who are interacting with you. So when I first started streaming, you know, back in, we'll just say like October 2020. Yes. Because in 2021 I had like the whole year, yeah. So October 2020, when I first like really started streaming, there was a lot of people that I stumbled across in those first 3 to 6 months that I was like, oh, you're pretty cool. And I followed them, they followed me. And now fast forward, if there's somebody who I haven't actually seen in a while, I'm like, hey, like, I'm checking in on you, where have you been? Like, take the time to actually get to know the people. Like, show them love and genuine love. And your community will grow just by being a caring person about who people are. So if you see somebody who did something amazing, like, congratulate them. Show them support. And you'll grow just by doing that. That your community will grow just by that. But if you're there and you're streaming and you just stay in your stream, you're not going to grow. There's not going to be a community. You're not going to be there because you're not going to talk to people. That's like, how are you going to meet people if you're not going to talk to people? You have to go talk to the people, and they will come and talk to you. And they'll actually check in. Go ahead.
It's the energy you give out is what you give back.
Exactly. So if you're only there to, I want to make money, I want people to follow me, then you're not going to do anything because you don't care about the people who actually follow you, and they will unfollow you.
Just as not fake it till you make it area.
Mm-hmm.
Interacting with your community, please don't fake it till you make it.
No.
Use tools to help you. Like, for example, I have ADHD, so I am really bad about birthdays. I'm really bad about checking in with people. I forget people exist if they're not in my corner. So I will, like, set reminders for myself to interact with certain people, or set a task in my calendar to be like, oh, make sure you reach out to that person, because that's the only way I remember it exists. But that's fine. That's not being disingenuous. And I think that we have a tendency to look at, like, using tools to help us, like customer service management systems or things like that, as not being genuine. But it's really the thought behind it that determines whether or not you're doing something genuine and authentic, rather than like system you're using to be able to let your brain remember. You know. Alright. But I think that's good. Yeah, if you're not genuinely into what your community has to say, you know, don't just enter a community, don't just start streaming a game that you don't know anything about because you see the community like getting big there or something like that, because unless you're genuine in the
interest of it.
Yeah, like I just started playing Destiny 2, so like that would be like me saying, oh, like I play Destiny 2, what's up, trying to get up in the meta because I simply started, because I see a lot of people there. As someone who plays Halo all the time, I'm gonna know if you just started playing Halo. You wanna know. And I'm gonna know that you're faking it to get into the community in order to go clout. And this is not in any way a bash on titty girl streamers. Anyway, I just want to note that because, like, I go, like, you get your bank.
And as somebody who does often wear low cut stuff, but that's only because that's generally what I wear.
Right, like, I'm not saying that they're a girl. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you don't regularly play Halo games and you are like, oh, I want to be a Halo streamer, be honest with your community that you're building about that. Don't try to come off as an expert. It's kind of similar. Don't come off as an expert in something that you're not. Like, gaming is the same way. But if you're honest, like, hey, I'm just starting to play Destiny 2, the community will bring you with them. They'll be like, oh, cool, awesome. We love helping people that are behind us and bringing them up with us, as long as they're being honest. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing about your community is don't lie to them. And I think that's actually a really hard part. So, Vicky, as someone who shares, like, a lot of their stuff with their audience, how do you work with those boundaries? Like,
in terms of,
yeah, you want to be, an authentic, genuine person to your community, but there's also a lot of things about your life that you keep private, right? That you don't share on stream.
yes.
How do you dictate what that is in terms of, like, because, I love chat, I love you all, but sometimes you ask for too much. And it's not your fault, it's nobody's fault, it's just that it's, content creators, everyone has a different boundary, so, like, how do you determine what's comfortable for you?
So, in terms of my boundaries, a lot of, like, I'm trying to think, like, what don't I share? I share everything and I share nothing at the same time. It's really weird.
Right.
A lot of, like, my personal life I do not share. But it's weird for me because a lot of you guys, when you come into my community, you are confronted with half of my family. My mom's there, my aunt's there, my brothers are there, like, cousins, friends since I was a little wee, lass. You are confronted with my whole childhood. But at the same time, I'm careful with what I share. And I want to make sure, like, nobody can attack me for things that might be personal. Or attack any of my loved ones for anything that might be personal. So,
yeah, like, you don't have to. I think one of the biggest misconceptions in content creation is that you have to give your full self in order to be seen as authentic.
mm-hmm.
That's not necessarily true. Like, you can decide, like, oh, I'm not going to share this information, or I'm not going to, put pictures of these people on social, or I'm not going to, if it doesn't fit with what makes you comfortable in your life, don't do it. Like, just because Vicky has a Discord that she shares everything about her life in doesn't mean I feel comfortable having a Discord.
I literally just share my workouts and my food. And then we talk about the forest and Animal Crossing. We talk about games and stuff, but really it's just the workouts and the food.
Yeah, your Discord is super fun. I'm just saying, like, one of the questions that I get a lot, and I got this in this thing, is like, is a Discord vital to being a streamer? And it really depends. Like, I've always been this way. So in high school, I was never really, like, the owner of a group or in a group or anything like that. I was a floater, and I would float from, like, this group and this group and this group because my interests were so varied.
Mm-hmm.
There really wasn't one group of people that I hung out with.
That actually reminds me of, like, a random story. Sorry.
No.
Because I definitely was a floater as well, and because we all, went through the same, elementary school, like, I stayed in the same place, so it was the same people. throughout, you know, 10 years or whatever. So people change as they grow. So my best friend decided she went for the gothic route. So she was full on gothic. The whitest white makeup that you could possibly ever find, and then add more white to it. Black eyeliner, wait, hold on. Shaved her eyebrows to then draw swirly eyebrows in black.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so full on. She had like a chestnut brown hair, but dyed black. Full on. And then there was me. There was me. This adorable little black girl wearing Tommy Hilfiger from head to toe. We did not make sense when I was at the mall, and it'll be like 5 of all my gothic friends, and then there was me. But my interests were so varied, and I genuinely love this person. I've known them for years. I genuinely love who this person is. And I think I translate that to my community. I genuinely love the people around me. And your interests are varied, and people will generally love you back. Regardless of whatever it is you're doing.
I think if you're someone who has the spoons and the ability to have a Discord, like you have the ability to go in there. The Discord is one of those things where it's like, if you don't have the ability to do it well, this is where I'm gonna step in and break away from my perfectionist thing and say, like, don't even bother. Because if you can't get in there every day and actually legitimately connect with the people that are in there, and like obviously as you scale up you need mods to help you with that, and that's fine. I'm saying if you don't have the ability to keep that a safe space, don't bother. Because it's just gonna die, it's just gonna get muted, there's really not gonna be a point. If you have a genuine, like, goal, whether that's to keep all your community members together and you're gonna be active in it and you're gonna be doing things, which is great, then get a Discord. But if you're like me and you don't have time for any of that shit, don't bother. It's just gonna confuse people.
Yeah.
They're gonna expect something out of you that you're not gonna be able to deliver, and that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it can be a lot. It's a lot to maintain. It's a lot to juggle in the midst of, doing the content creating, the interacting, the tweeting, the this, the that. It's a whole thing. So I totally understand if you don't have the fortitude at this moment, because it'd be very easy to get burned out and overwhelmed, then don't juggle a Discord. Be active in other Discords, and that is very, very important, is to be active in other Discords, not just your own. So if that's what you're going to do, then do that, and maybe down the line you might start a Discord. My Discord is an interesting Discord because we're very much sharing our fitness journeys together. A lot of us should have like Apple Watches together. So the food and the fitness channels are very active. And it's very easy for me to pop in, share a workout that I saw that was interesting, know what type of equipment do people have, and then start sharing information. Because I'm already looking at the information myself. I'm simply literally copying and pasting. It's literally like me sending a text message to a friend. It takes a half a second, but I'm not all over the place doing a whole bunch of stuff. I keep it very simple in my Discord.
Yeah, I think with every piece you add, it goes back to that question of why. And not just like why, as in your core why, like why you're doing this speaking with, but like, why do I want to add this thing to my ecosystem? What is the value that it brings to me or my community? And then like, what is the strategy to maintain that, right? Because that's what the key is. And I think a lot of people don't have good follow through on when it comes to building a Discord channel or adding anything to their ecosystem.
Yeah, but you do not need to have Discord to be a streamer. That is a lie if anybody says that.
You don't need anything. You
Yeah.
just need a camera. You don't even need camera.
Yeah, like you don't even need a camera.
You don't even need that.
Because you can stream directly from your PlayStation. You don't even need that.
Right. It can literally, that's the thing. It's really about it. It can literally do whatever you want, but there has to be, you have to understand that, like, streaming for money and trying to build up in the meta, and then, like, streaming to actually connect with your community and, like, to be a successful quote-unquote streamer, because it's not, at the end of the day, the reason that those people are successful is because they have communities willing to support them. And if they didn't have those communities, they would not be successful. Okay, good question. Is it important to have content first or followers first? This is a tough one. This is a good one though.
That's literally the chicken or the egg.
It's both. You need both.
You need both, but you know what? The content's gonna happen first. Unless you have, yeah, so unless you have a follower, like you already had followers on Instagram because you were just sharing food pictures and stuff before you decided to start streaming. But then even then, sharing food pictures as just like a random things you were doing, that was already your content creation. Just wasn't necessarily what you'd plan on content creating currently. So I guess it's chicken or the egg. Oh my gosh. So it's going to have to be your content has to come first, and the followers will come. It just, you're now just trying to focus on what kind of followers you want to have based off of your content.
Yeah, it's a tricky, okay, so it's a little bit of, if I was going to build a platform from scratch, right now, like Cookie said, I would have the followers from my various platforms to kind of be like, hey, come hang out with me over here. Like TikTok, right? Everyone's getting into TikTok now. So if I was going to get into TikTok, I'd be like, hey, come hang out over here or whatever. There's a big push away from using social medias as marketing and going back to like using social media as social media. As weird as it sounds. This idea of like, because if you go to my Twitter, I mean, a lot of people will be like, oh my gosh, like you follow 1,000 people and you only have like 500 people, whatever. But like, that, I'm not successful because of my numbers. Like, my numbers have nothing to do with the fact that I have a job in the industry. Like, do they help? Sure, but like, the numbers aren't really what it was. It was me connecting with people through my writing, or connecting with the like spending the time connecting with people that could help me on my career pathway. That's what got me into the industry and the reason why I'm quote unquote successful. Like, but your numbers, like, they don't really matter anymore.
Yeah, because like I was saying earlier, there's people watching and supporting that aren't necessarily following or subscribing. So your numbers, again, might not be right.
Exactly. They're not going to. They never will be. They'll never be accurate. Your trends will be accurate. Like, if you're, like, on an uptick going up, like, gaining more followers or losing more followers. But your actual numbers, like, how many followers you have on TikTok is never going to like translate to how much money you're making, right? Like, and I think that's a big disconnect. So we were brought up on, you know, as Bo Burnham says, like, we were brought up on this, like, we created platforms so we could perform for people. You know, he's not wrong. Mm-hmm. And understanding that, like, those, every single, even if it's just 100 people watching you, that's 100 people. Even if it's just one person watching you, that person is spending their time invested in watching you. Like, that's still a whole person.
Yes.
As long as the person who passed by thinks I'm cool. Yeah, exactly. So let's hold on. Let me make sure. Yeah, so when it comes to content and followers, here's the thing. Your content is your content and followers are going to consistently evolve because of each other. Your content is going to consistently evolve because of the followers and the community you're trying to build, as well as your followers and community are going to constantly evolve as your content gets upgraded. So it is like Nikki exactly said, it's a catch-22, it's a chicken and egg. Like they are continuously in a lovely romantic dance with each other, right? Do you have anything else to add on that?
Yeah, I think that's great. I think.
Okay, and then let's see.
Ooh.
Patreon. Do you have a Patreon?
I do not have a Patreon because I cannot stress myself. Patreon's a lot of work because unless I know I can generally provide quality things for my subscribers who are paying every month, no. And I don't want to commit to that. Something would have to give. So whether I'm giving up the YouTube, something would have to go. Like there's no way for me to add one more thing. Please, everybody, keep in mind that I currently work 3 actual jobs.
Right.
So so while I'm doing the content creating, I'm crocheting, I'm in my Discord, I'm doing my workouts, I'm going to the gym, I have my personal, actual life, friends, family, relationships, everything like that. I'm also juggling in the midst of it all. I also still have 3 jobs. I have a regular 9-to-5, and then I teach at 2 different colleges. When are we supposed to start a Patreon? And maintain it?
A lot of the like, so when you first start streaming and you're like, how do I start streaming? It's always like, oh, get this, and then like the list goes on. And so, is a Patreon helpful? It can be if you can position it in a way of being a valuable source. If you are going to drop the ball, don't do it. It's just like, it's not worth it. It's not worth starting. It's not worth going through the process. It's time wasted. Just do it. But the cool thing about sites like Patreon and like setting up for subscribers, and we all know I am such a fan of the subscriber sites. They allow you to get a little bit more intimate with your community.
Ow!
So
Boom chicka wow wow. Now mind you, speaking on the other
that's not always what I'm talking about.
Speaking on the other place where there might be some fans that only support you. I might do that because I can easily take some of my content and just spice it up a little.
Is this an announcement?
Spice it up a little. And I think I might be able to commit to that, but I don't, like the Patreon, I feel like I need to give more versus my fans that only support me. You love that play on words. I can do it in a different type of way and still be, streaming, and the video will be there, and it wouldn't make me stress myself to produce that, once or twice a month.
That's your content for sure.
Yeah, so that'd be very easy to do that, and it's not it's just, so maybe, some little bit of wardrobe changes for the content of what I'm already doing.
I will give y'all one insider tip, one insider industry tip, and for those who don't know, I work in partnerships and I work in talent management in the industry, so I can only say so much, but nobody is live posting pretty much anything. So if you're like, oh my god, I want to start an Instagram, but I'm not gonna remember to post that shit. Take like 5 or 6 pictures on like a Saturday. Schedule them on your Instagram.
Scheduling is essential.
Please take care of your future self. And I think one of the biggest hurdle about content creation is allowing yourself to understand and follow that there are so many tricks out there that nothing you see on social media is probably real. And that's okay because everyone kind of understands that. The only real place I think that's left is TikTok, to be quite honest. But, and I'm not saying, so I want to preface this by saying, just because you are using tools to help with your content creation to get your message out there does not mean that you are being inauthentic. Because you're still posting, you're still reaching your audience, it's still you they are coming to see. Like, there's a lot of steps in the journey where people are like, oh, I'm being inauthentic. No, even if you're investing with a lot of people, you know, it's good to invest in your social media. Always start a project with the idea that you will no longer be doing that project for yourself. Because if you want to scale up as a creator, that is what it's going to be. So setting systems in place, really treating it like a business, but your revenue is the community that you build versus the money that you make, right? You can still like set smart goals and say like, oh, I want this many followers. Like, it's totally fine. I think a lot of people get weirded out by like allowing themselves to be really open and transparent about the goals that they have for themselves.
True.
Content creation, because we feel it's being inauthentic somehow, being like, oh yeah, like I want 1,000 followers, you know, like it's totally fine. Is that necessarily going to translate into conversions for your content? No, but it's totally okay to have that as a goal. It's fine. As long as you're aware of that. Thanks, Dice Barbarian, for the follow. Welcome to the party.
Welcome.
Yeah, so let me see. What other questions do we have? Ask your questions, please. Because the other thing, too, is, like, we don't know what we don't know. We don't know
what you want to know.
Yeah, like, because I think what I know, everybody knows. And then people will be like, oh, ask me a question, and I'll be like, blah, 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 blah. And they'll be like, oh, you didn't know that. And I'm like, oh, I just figured you did.
Yep, come with me into the kitchen.
Okay. Let's see. No, that's all my questions I got. I think, yes. So yeah, that's all the questions I have on my Twitter. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. By the way, can we just talk about how fucking amazing your, like, this is? Now, I am not this. This is not what I do. I am cringe AF on my island, let me tell you. But like, this is gorgeous. My brain just doesn't think this way, you know? That's fine.
See, I feel like it's very, very basic in here.
Please, people.
Compared to other people's builds, this is very basic.
I'm definitely going to buy that pull-up bar in Fangirl's video. Yes, do it. Do it. See? And that's the thing. But I want you to think about that. I want you to think about the journey that you just went on to come to that conclusion, right? Because you saw someone that is on the same journey as you, and that worked for them. She's not an expert.
Mm-mm.
And oftentimes being an expert actually makes you unattainable. And so people have a harder time following experts, or actually, like, they'll follow experts, but they won't connect with those people. They're not the people that are going to get you to, buy the same things that they're using.
You know what?
They're like, oh, they're an expert. And honestly, if they're showing it off on Instagram, half the time they got it for free. So.
You know what? And that's so true. Because just recently, I was blessed with my student loans being forgiven. My federal student loans were forgiven. And mind you, I put in my application back in like October when they first made the changes. And I talked to a lot of different friends about it. So fast forward to now, when it went through. My application was, blah blah blah, and I went back to those same friends. I'm like, hey, did you guys get your information? I'm sure it's around the corner because I just got mine. A lot of those friends did not do it. They did not fill out their application. They didn't do any of it. I was like, what? I'm sorry, what? So now I am finding myself, because I am now the example of like, hey, it actually works. And I'm not an expert. I'm not, Forbes.com talking about it. I am Vicky saying my student loans were forgiven. This is how I did it. And now because I am the average Joe saying it, they're taking it more serious. They're like, oh, it's actually real. So, yes, I'm actually currently going through that right now, as I am currently helping with a lot of people to fill out their application who I thought filled out their application back in October.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly. So, a lot of us, so the other thing too is that when I took a branding like kind of class kind of thing, and my branding coach told me, think about the brands that you love and think about why you love them, because that is your love language with your like community.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you love about other brands? What is it that you love about other content creators? What is it that you love about other streams? And not copy, but like bring that same energy back to your own stuff. Yeah. That was a lot of information. We just went on and on and on and on. So if you have any questions, that was a lot. But yeah. So like, and the other thing too is I want to also make sure you know, like, it doesn't matter what level of content creation. Everybody feels the same way you do.
Mm-hmm.
Totally agree. Find your own version of the brand you like most. Use them as an inspiration. Exactly. Like, so for example, if you really like Dr. Pepper, because I know a lot of my friends really like Dr. Pepper, what is it about Dr. Pepper that is so enticing? Because it's not just the taste, right? Because if off-brand Dr. Pepper does not do the same thing for you. So, Dr. Lightning, yeah. So what is it about Dr. Pepper? It's not just that it's a good tasting soda, right? Maybe it's because you and a parent drank a lot of Dr. Pepper together. Or maybe it's because you always saw the commercials on TV when you were watching like Saturday night TV or something like that. There's always some kind of emotional, mental element when it comes to like why you like stuff. So like figure out what that is. Like Nintendo, right? Why do we like Dr. Salty? Why do we like Nintendo? I mean, if you want to see someone that's good brand voice, it's Moxie, because no one actually likes the taste of Moxie. And if you're not from New England, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm just saying. It's like molasses in a can with bubbles. It's like not good. It's the most old people love it around here. They don't know why. I mean, I know why. I'm stuck.
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing, weirdo? I'm like, okay, Bruno, get out from behind the wall. Like, come sit down with the family.
But it's not just a doctor. It's that there's always a mental element that has to do with it. So, like, and really diving into what that is and what that means is really important for anything. And that teaches you what you like, and then the people that are in your community are going to like things. Yeah. Do you have any questions, Vicky? Because, like, I'm here. You can ask me. I think I asked you all the questions I have for you.
I don't have... Do I have questions?
I don't know.
What is... Oh, here we go. What is... Oh, now I got a few questions now. Okay. this is an easy one, but no, it's not. What is something you wish you knew when you first started streaming? That's the classic question.
That none of it really matters. That you can be as prepared as you want to be, and you're not going to be prepared enough.
True.
So the thing that helps me through that is I expect everything to fail, and I don't mean like in a defeatist, like nothing's worth it kind of way. But what I mean is that, like, okay, I have a forensic chemistry background too, so I look at everything like the scientific method, which has really helped me. Like, if I try posting every other day, right? What is that going to do for my followership? What is that going to do for my community? But also, what is that going to do for me? And like, I think a lot of beginner streamers, one of the like, setting your boundaries is okay. Just because someone's paying a sub for your channel doesn't mean that they are entitled to all of you, or entitled to you pushing your, like, you don't have to go past any, like, if you don't feel like streaming, don't stream. Just because you have subs, don't stream. Take care of yourself. Otherwise, you know what's gonna happen? 6 months from now, you're gonna stop streaming for 4 months. Because you didn't give yourself a break. Also, what I wish I knew when I started streaming is that take breaks. Allow yourself to take breaks. Like, schedule breaks in your streams. This is something that I've learned from the TTRPG community like crazy. Schedule breaks in your streams. Like, we're just doing a short one, but like, if we're gonna do, like, let's say a 12-hour, like, the forest marathon, we would make sure to schedule like 10 to 15 minute breaks, like, every so many hours, just to make sure that we're still taking care of our bodies, you know? At least try to. Whether we actually fulfill that or not is a different story, but it's okay to do. So yeah, those are my things. What about yours?
I think learning to take a break from it all. So if you don't, like, even if you sent out that tweet or that graphic that morning that you were going to stream that night, it is okay to cancel and be like, nah, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
The schedule always should stay flexible, and at any given moment, you are allowed to cancel and lay on your couch and eat cookies and say, forget it. Even though technically I stream from my couch, so I could just lay on my couch and just have the camera on while I'm eating cookies, and I think people might actually enjoy that.
I would.
But like, just learn that it's okay to cancel. You're not letting anybody down. You are actually protecting yourself. So that is.
And you know what? To piggyback off of that, as a person who is neurodivergent and a mom, please, if you are a content creator, set those boundaries for yourself, because it makes it a lot easier for us to set those boundaries. You know what I mean? Like, if you, as someone who doesn't have kids, who's a streamer, is able to be like, dope, I'm good, I'm not going to do it tonight, I don't feel well. Someone like me, who literally might run into a situation where, like, my kid is sick or something and, like, I have to bail out, it makes it a lot easier, because then it's like normalizing culture, you know what I mean? So, like, if you're gonna push through, if like, let's say, like, look at Ludwig, for example, right? He's a top streamer right now, and there was a lot of conversation about, he did a month-long subathon where he was live for a month long, and so many people in my business circles were like, go him, blah blah blah. I, as the parent of an 8-year-old boy,
9,
was like, please God, no. No, he's 9 now. You're right. Please God, no, do not set that precedent. I, as a mom, was like, I do not want people like, single full-time dad. Exactly. Do not set the precedent that in order to be able to be successful as a streamer, you have to be live 24/7 or for a whole month, or like that's even a sustainable friggin' thing. Like, so when people like that are in positions of power, like, do those things, other people try to emulate those things, and it is not healthy. So, like, don't do that.
Yeah.
That's dumb. Like, if I have to stream for a month to be a top, I'm all set. I am out. Thank you.
Like, okay, time to go. Like, all right, I'm gonna head out now.
So, like, yeah, head setting it, like, just when so anytime you're, like, gonna push through a mental kind of break in order just to, like, get those views or get that sub, please don't do it, because me as a parent who can't always do that, like, I will thank you. Like, you can text me, I'll write you a note, like, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so any other questions? I'm running out of things to talk about.
Okay. Wait, okay.
I'm fine to keep talking, I just can't think of it.
Yeah. No, I should have wrote down my questions after as they pop
Thank
into me.
you, Wait, did you just sub? Wait, what happened? You just joined, you just followed? Wait, did you join the experiment? I'm very confused.
Welcome, Crimson Potato.
Potato! Oh my god, Dice for Bearing just said thank you so much, bro. Alright.
What would you consider? Here's the question. What do you consider a successful stream?
Oh, okay. This is that very much depends on the metrics at which you measure yourself. So when I talk about hitting your goals, I can't type. I'm sorry. Thank you so much, Dice for Bearing. I appreciate it. When I talk about hitting your goals, this is a successful stream. Thanks, Dad. Okay, so when we talk about your why, right? Talk about your why. If your why is money, you will always fail. Because you will always fail. Because if your why is money, you're not going to hit your money goals. You will always fail. So if your why is to have fun with your community, if your why is to be valuable, if your why is to whatever, then you will have a successful stream no matter what. I think the only time you should not be having a successful stream is never, unless it's outside of your control, like, you know, like technical difficulties or like, you know, hate raids or things like that. That's different. But like, if your goal is to connect with your community and that's what you do, then you will always have a successful stream. How about you?
I think, to me, I feel like it's a successful stream when my community is having a good time and that we get to laugh. Like, I genuinely know that everybody in the stream is smiling. That's a successful stream to me. When I can feel the happy vibes for everybody in my stream.
Right. Yep. I mean, so like, I do TTRPG streams, right? And I did Godplane a little while ago, and I'm gonna do Mothership Genius tomorrow, selfish plug. But I think that it will be a successful stream, regardless. If your idea of success is based on like for example, for TTRPGs, we want to put on a show, right? We want to put on a show, we want to tell a story. So there's a lot of pressure there, and we want to do it for people. So we might be like, oh, we want to make sure we have like 20 views, and let's say we don't hit those 20 views. That doesn't mean we're not going to get people in the VODs, like we talked about earlier. People in the VODs, people everywhere else. So if your goals are completely wrapped around, it's good to have number goals for like, you know, short-term things, but if your value is wrapped around those number goals, you probably shouldn't be streaming. I mean, to be quite honest, right? Like, if you're hitting goals for yourself, like I want 1,000 followers, that's a great goal to have. And that's the basis of your quote-unquote success or not as a streamer, then you really need to rethink the value that you bring to your community. Yeah, that's all I got for that. Next question.
So, Crimson, you said you need to find someone to do a collab with. as in like a collab, as in a sponsorship collab type thing, or like a collab as in a co-stream?
Yeah, be more specific.
Yeah, which one are we
Those
doing?
are two very different strategies.
Yeah, a sponsorship. We can talk about both. So
I just have to preface that I have to be very careful about what I share when it comes to partnerships and sponsorships, simply because that is the work I do, and not that I can't just, I just gotta navigate that carefully. So.
Okay, I got you. So, Crimson said the goal is to have a good number of long-term viewers.
Okay, so retention.
Co-stream.
Okay.
Autocorrect got you in that spelling. I see that there. Okay, so so wait, real quick with the sponsorships. Shoot your shot. Long as it's on brand. You'll never see me do an energy drink branding deal because I don't drink energy drinks. So I will not sell that to you. Now, if a boba tea company was to want to work with me, that would work because half the time that is what I'm drinking. A chai tea, please talk to me because I drink my weight in that every single day. I crochet. I had sponsorships and partnerships with yarn companies. So just speaking on that real quick, and Jen does not have to say anything. She's free. Shh, be quiet. Now, in terms of a co-stream, reach out to your fellow streamers. Like, if there's a game that you really want to play, randomly, there's a couple different approaches you can do that. If you have friends that are already playing that game, do that. If you have, there's no such thing as not being popular enough for a sponsorship, Crimson. Trust me. You can have 5 people and get a sponsorship.
I will speak on that. That is a big misconception. As somebody who's in partnerships, as somebody who is a content channel manager, yes, your numbers are important, but not more important than how you present those numbers. So, for example, if your Instagram page has 100% engagement rate, that means every single person that follows you engages with your content, that is worth a tremendous amount more than having 1 million followers that don't engage with your content. So,
yes.
if I was gonna do a one-pager for someone that had a low follower count, I would focus on the value that they bring to their community and the percentage of their engagement on their socials and their platforms, and that is all I am going to say about that.
And
if you want more information, you can talk to me through DMs, we can chat about it, but okay, I'm done now.
Yeah. So, yes, Crimson, we're going to put you through your paces in the forest. I know you said that you played before. So that's perfect. You shot your shot to me and Youngles. We can easily set you up and play the forest with you. We will throw you in on day 105 now?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and we'll see how you can actually hang with us. But yeah, always reach out to people who are playing games that you're interested in. Be like, hey, let's set something up. Like, I saw a fellow streamer on Twitter. He said he talked about playing Mario Party. And I was like, you want to lose? Okay. And therefore now me and him are going to play next Friday. And then from there, I saw two other streamers that are from the similar community. They were talking, the one said, oh, I'm going to play Mario Party, possibly on Friday. And then somebody else commented, another fellow streamer. And I was like, oh, bet. Friday, he's going to lose anyway, so let's add 2 more people that will lose as well. And now we have a full squad of toxic behavior ready to happen over stars. So, like, literally just reach out to people. I set up a huge Dead by Daylight, basically a tournament with my mom as the star. I was not the star of that day. My mom was the star. She was co-streaming with big name partners to people who had like 2 viewers. Like everybody was playing and everybody was enjoying themselves. So shoot your shot at every single person you want to play with.
Yeah, he was talking about water companies and Liquid Death. It's like a water company. Or someone wants to partner with a water company. But yeah, definitely when it comes to co-streaming, here's the thing. If your motivation to co-streaming, and this isn't to potato at all in any shape or form, just to preface, this is literally just in general, I see this a lot. If your goal in connecting with anybody in any situation is to only better yourself,
don't do it.
Don't do it. If your goal to co-stream is to jack someone's community, don't do it.
No.
Because they will see through that. If your goal is to connect genuinely with other people and streamers that you love, regardless of, like, I'm going to be 100% real. There are times when we are playing the forest where I have, like, 1 or 2 viewers and Vicky has like 15. And you know what? It's totally fine because I'm not here playing the forest to have views. I'm here to hang out with my friends. You know,
yes.
It happens to me too. It's like, it's not, because what that does is that starts building resentment and animosity. So if your expectation is, hey, I'm going to start becoming friends with these people because these people are, how dare she? These people are, you know, really cool people I would be friends with in real life, go for it. If the motives and the expectations are, if I stream with Fangirl, for example, and so then her community is going to support me, don't do it. I mean, will that happen? Fangirl's community is super supportive, and they're amazing, and I freaking love them to death. So yeah, probably. But if your expectation is that, and that doesn't happen, you're setting yourself up for drama and animosity and resentment within that community. And that's not okay to bring to anybody's content creation space.
Exactly. Stream with people because you just want to hang out with them.
Right. And I'm not, once again, I am not saying that this is Potato's motivation. I'm just saying I see a lot in the space.
Yeah, exactly. We want, I think our whole night has basically been be honest and genuine, and the growth will come.
Right.
So,
is it? Let's look at it. Okay, so let's look at it this way. Like, if you follow people, they're only following you to get follows. That's the goal. So that's what they got. So then they move on. So if that's your goal, that's all you get. It's like if you work for somebody and all they care about is attendance, that's all they get, right? So like, if you're not going into other people's streams and giving them subs, if you're not going into other communities and supporting, you cannot expect that same energy back.
Love you too, Guru.
That's it. That's my. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
That's the TED Talk.
That's the TED Talk. Any other questions?
Yeah. Does anybody have any other questions that they were gonna?
And if you are shy, it's fine.
Send a Twitter DM or respond to Youngles' Twitter pin. Is pin currently right now on your profile?
It is a pin on my profile, yeah.
Okay. So I just dropped her link again in the chat.
Awesome.
So
keep at least motivated. Good. All right. So let's what are the resources that you have to have if you're going to start streaming specifically? And maybe we can do, if people are interested, we'll do another video talking about exactly what that looks like. But just to like kind of end this side of it, because my kids are like, Mama, come play with me. I know it's late. It's fine. It's Saturday.
It's Saturday. Yeah. You're totally allowed to stay up a little bit later on Saturday.
I don't want to hear it. What are some of the tools that you did not have that you now have that are so valid you can do without it?
Okay, so I am, like I said earlier, and everybody who knows, I'm a crochet streamer. So I'm a craft streamer. So when I first started, I was sitting on my couch and streaming and crocheting. But eventually, that was not going to work in terms of camera angles and things of that sort. So I found that I have a little one of like the arm things that you see people with their microphones on. That's for my second camera because I run 2 cameras on my stream, one on my face, one on my hands. So that's a little bit different than a lot of people's content because usually people only have 1 camera, but I run 2 cameras. And then if I am now streaming with somebody else, there's might be 3 cameras happening. So I have multiple cameras going at one time. So having tripods and arms for cameras is something that's very essential if you're going to run multiple cams. And having a pretty mat down for my crafting, so when people look down they see something nice to look at. And actually having a headset so it's easier to run audio through the headset if I'm playing music, chatting with somebody else as a co-stream, and then having sound for the game or whatever we're doing. I could do multiple audio input and outputs, but that's getting too deep into the OBS life. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. And then at that point, we're gonna have to pull up. My OBS is kind of messy because I'm lazy, but I can pull up and show you guys how my OBS is set up, which is, I think it's a little bit different than other people's setup.
Wait, let me pull up your... This is how much me and Fangirl co-stream together. I actually have a Chrome tab set up just to pop on screen whenever.
Oh yes, Todd Moon, lighting. Lighting is, yes. I now have, like I said earlier I was off stream, that now I have 45 different smart bulbs. So now it's multiple colors. And it's easier, which I also then make a channel point for my community to be able to change the lighting. They're like, I want this color and I want that color. I'm like, okay, you want red, you want pink, and I keep, so that also brings in the community as well. So yeah, those are the things. So I have the ring light, I have the LED light strip, I have the arm for the camera, super long, extra long cord for my Elgato. Those are all essential resources for me. Youngles, are you there? Did we lose Youngles?
You know what I did? My thing muted me. Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay. I was like,
okay.
Am I alone? Am I alone?
Talking with your viewers, even if you have to talk to them. Oh yeah, we did a whole thing, about viewership and community building for sure. So for gaming, you don't. Cameras are optional. There's VTubing, there's PNG tubing. There's so many things you can do that if you want a camera cool, we're not using cameras right now. Look at us. We have our characters. We this up. It's loading. I literally today was hair wash day for me. So I'm very happy to not use the camera right now. It's making me very happy. So, that's just, it is whatever you want it to be. So if you have a console and you want to start streaming on a console. If you can always get a PC later. You can always add a camera. You can always add all these other things. um, to it as you evolve and grow. What your content is today is not what it's going to be a year from now.
Oh
Unless you're
gosh.
like us in this forest. A
Yes.
year from now.
Because the one thing I don't like is when people have it set up that clips will play when they give you a shout out, and they pull up a clip from like 1910 on my channel, and I'm like, oh, look how bad that looked. What was I doing?
Like on Nico's last night when it was me being like, I don't know, someday I'll figure this shit out.
Like, I need to go back into my clips and delete those and hide them. I'm like, why? I'm like, they still have Final Fantasy VII clips up there. I'm like, what? I need to hide all of those clips.
Even Mike Mignola hates his first work. He's a creative helper. Like, even every single writer out there will not read their first book because it's shit. Like, so... Huh? David Lynch hates his Dune. Like, there's like, you're not... Just start. Your content's not, like, waiting is not going to make your initial content better. It's just prolonging your ability to suck. Because you can't get better if you don't know, like, it's so easy to watch Twitch and be like, hey, I'm going to start content creation. It's a lot different when you, like, open up OBS and you're like, oh, okay, now I have to do this. And then it doesn't work because there was an update and now you have to redo the whole thing again. Those are the pieces that are like, you have to learn as you go. No one's going to prepare you for those. So all you need is the will to start, and that's all you need. Everything else will come with that.
Mm-hmm.
You can add sound alerts, you can add screens, you can add transitions, you can add all of those things as you evolve. But you can't do it if you don't start. So, yeah. I think we touched on a lot of stuff.
Yes.
So, I'm comfy calling it here unless you have more questions in your chat. I do not.
No. Does anybody... Hi, Mike City. Does anybody have any more streaming basics with Youngles? Questions?
And then if you have any ideas on what you want us to do next, we can totally dive in a little bit more about a specific topic, because I feel like after this point, OBS needs its own session.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, branding needs its own session. We're thinking this would be like a good overview, because about like socials and streaming and getting going and motivation and mindset and all that. But like, to get into the nitty gritty things, you need to do an episode on each one. So let us know how you felt about this, because this was super fun.
Yes, I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well.
It's a little different, but it's okay. Alright. What do you want to do? Are we rating?
Of course we're rating. We gotta.
Of course we're rating.
When
are we rating?
When do we not rate out? Oh, Twitch mobile crashed on you, Crimson? I'm sorry.
Okay, Potato, do you have any last questions before we call it and raid? Because I'm tired.
Yeah.
Normally I have D&D at this time. Now,
But.
You had no. Okay, so you missed the discussion of me having Discord. All right, I don't, because I have the brain capacity of a squirrel. So I am in other people's Discord. Oh, I'm gonna check out Fangirl's pull-up video. Do it. I am what is a floater. I go to other people's Discords. Oh, if I have a Discord, like, do I have a Discord? Like, what's my username?
Oh. Oh, okay. You can,
I'm also, very dense.
when you go to my about page, oh wait, what am I, duh.
Mine's right here. I don't care. Add me. Let's be Discord friends.
I was gonna say, you can hop in my Discord and you can find her.
I'm also in there, yeah.
She's a teacher assistant in the classroom. I actually took the time to actually make roles and make it make sense.
Oh, see, that's what I do. I show up in other people's Discords and then they make me mods because I'm fun.
Yeah.
I also lay down the band hammer if I have to. I'm really good at that. So if you're really bad at setting your boundaries, talk to me. I will help you.
And thank you, Guru. Her question was, how are you guys so wonderful?
Wait, how are what?
How are we so wonderful?
Oh, stop it. How are you so wonderful?
I know, Guru is one of my favorite people who found me. We found each other. She's amazing. Absolutely love her, and I'm going to send her something, an ugly rooster something, to her house when she moves.
Oh my god. Yes.
Because I believe in sending your friends ugly rooster stuff when they get a new house.
Yes.
Quibbly? Am I saying that name right, Youngles? Quibbly?
Yeah, I call her Q.
Q. Okay.
Because she's so cute.
Someday you'll also be a teacher assistant in your Discord, for sure. And you'll be a bestie. I don't know. I'm kind of crazy.
Yeah, and you have to get through me. Like, I kind of claim that title.
I'm kind of, and I'm kind of a dictator. I yell at people.
I'm a dictator. If you sign up to play Forest with us, you're signing up for a full-time job.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. The Forest, we're kind of... That's why that is one partnership we will get. Let's speak it into existence. We will get an End Night Games collab with them. We're going to speak it up. This will happen. Even if they're getting 25 tweets from us every single day, to the point like, who are these people?
Okay, but there's actually super quick. If you're going to be getting into like partnerships, sponsorships, blah, 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 stuff like that, you need to make sure that you can deliver. And so just they might ask for things, you might need to deliver. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
So just make sure you can deliver.
Okay. Crimson has added you. Hi, Sham.
Hello.
We're actually...
Who are we rating?
Oh, yes. Who are we rating? We will be rating out...
Oh, you got Throne. Good. I'm glad.
Throne's good. I'm happy.
We'll talk about... So, we should do a thing about Throne, Beacons, all of those things. Like Ko-Fi, Coffee, whatever it's called.
Oh, yes, we do.
Let's do that. So next time we do one of these Animal Crossing coffee sessions where we just chat about stuff, let's talk about that. Like Linktree, which ones are good, which ones are bad. Alright, who are we?
Okay, we're gonna raid out to Bearded Baritone.
Love your house.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm being rude now. I love your house.
No, you're not. I'm actually going to, I'm going to be doing Animal Crossing. Oh, shameless plug time. Youngles, do your shameless plug. I'll do my shameless plug, and then we will raid out to Bearded Baritone.
Okay. So, the only really thing I have is I am going to be starting a actual playthrough tabletop RPG of Mothership, which is not Dungeons and Dragons. But that starts tomorrow over at Todd Moonbounce's channel at 8 p.m. Eastern, I think is the time. And you can check out the trailer and stuff on my Twitter. It's really, really good. I play a crazy scientist who builds an android robot. And Todd Moonbounce plays my brother. So that'll be interesting. That's what we're doing.
Yes. And for me... Please stay tuned. There's so many amazing co-streams that I have coming up this month that I'm so excited for. So please follow my Twitter. There's way too many for me to go through all of them because it's literally 2 to 3 every single week until the end of the month. But I really want to say really quick, the Animal Crossing one is on the 24th, and that is going to be against my nemesis, Grant Sounds. He's my Animal Crossing nemesis. I have a Beat Saber nemesis. So I'm sure there'll be something against him. And I guess I'll see if I now have a Mario Party nemesis. I just pick them up. That's just what I do. But... yeah. Oh. Ooh, okay. That sounds like fun. But yeah, so stay tuned. On the 19th is really important. It's the Athena Alliance. stream on taxes that I'm so super passionate about. Like that
Oh my
was
gosh, yeah.
that was my baby. So I tried not to bring it up too much tonight because I knew I was going to talk about it there. And that's so important as streamers to protect yourself.
Yep, yep.
Crims,
You have a business.
yes.
That means taxes. That means commercially licensed stuff.
Yes, you are a business if you're out here content creating and they're sending you money. Be careful because you then have to pay taxes on it. Did you set aside 40% of that money that you earned? No? Uh-oh. So,
Yeah, she did say 40% for a reason. So.
yeah. They're like, ooh, 40%? No, I went and I bought blah, blah, blah. Now, some stuff you can write off, some stuff you can't. I don't want to get too deep into it, but
No,
whatever.
You're reasonable.
Yeah. So, stay tuned. Just check out my Twitter. I'm definitely going to... Oh, hey, let's talk gaming. Stupid. So definitely come by my Twitter. I will definitely share out everything. But as always, Mondays and for the most part Wednesdays, I do my crochet streams. I am currently working on Yoshi, but I will also be working on a bralette, which I'm super excited to make. It's going to be pink and black. It's going to be smexy. Ew. Yes, and then therefore then we'll have to
Anyway.
show off. But yeah, so okay.
All right. Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you.
Let us know how you felt about this because we might do more of these. You know, it's all about checking your data. If you guys like it, we'll do more. If you don't, then we won't. But we like to, pay it forward and help people out. So, and if you have an idea of what you want us to talk about, you're struggling with something, hit us up on Twitter, and we will make it happen.
Yes, we will. All right, guys. Bye.